Whoops. We've had friends around all day and I haven't done any filming yet, and the sun's almost down. So I was going to take you outside and have a quick look at my car following the car wash yesterday, but I've completely forgotten to do it. Too much fun on a Sunday. So as you can see, I have not done the world's best cleaning job, shall we say, but it doesn't look that bad. I've learnt what I need to do better with this car. Firstly, I need to get more soap suds, a bit more soap, better mixed, more soapy and just generally more soapy. And I need to not miss little bits like this. Yeah, I mean, my washing technique needs work, but I'll get there. So it rained last night, and I took Jasper to school this morning, and that's the end of having a clean car. Winter time. I think I might just leave it until like March or something and then wash the car again. We are now... Actually, I've got to go run an errand for Soph and grab some milk. So that's what we're going to do first. As ever, time is short. But we do desperately need milk, and there's something else as well. Oh yeah, Soph wants me to take a photo of some pasta. Okay, that's part one of the chores for today done. Now I've got to go and get another car seat booster thing for Jasper, because Mummy had run off with the car seat and she was busy stuck in appalling traffic on the M25. To be honest, it was always going to happen. It was just a matter of time before we forgot to put the seat back in my car. It does look good when it's relatively clean, which unfortunately no longer is. The rush is on. Serious rushing required. I think I can do it, just about. Well, that was the very definition of fast and efficient. Yay, which means I've got enough time to stop off at home and put the milk in the fridge and pick up a proper camera, because we're going to talk about, well, a couple of things. Solar panels, planning, and the pain that they are, and also some of the things that I think hopefully Tesla will start to do differently in time. And I've even got time for a coffee. That's Tesla speed for you. And I wasn't actually going faster than the speed limit. I just, how do I put this? I got through junctions in a fairly smooth way, which is easy to do in an electric vehicle. Oh, so needed that. So let's just say that, you know, you don't want to have solar panels, you're going to go for solar tiles. And it adds £30,000 to the price of your house to have solar tiles and maybe a power wall or two in the basement or garage or something. Well, that's fine. Add that to the price of a house. You know what new houses cost around here? You're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds anyway. So an extra 30 grand, you'd think, would be fine, especially when you consider that it's going to save you money on your power bill. So your mortgage will go up a bit and your power bill will come down quite a lot. So why don't we just get a little bit of leadership from the powers that be and actually make that a sort of proper mandate? I think that would be brilliant. But as far as I know, no. I mean, I do think there are incentives for things like solar panels and stuff. I just think it should be an absolute 100% requirement. I really do. These legs were all floppy a minute ago, and I just tightened these 3 screws at the bottom, and now it's solid. That's why I use this and not a, you know, Gorilla Pod thing. So the solar panels and the planning permission and the fact that the government should just basically get on with making that an absolute 100% requirement for any and every roof replacement, if you ask me, but certainly on new builds, definitely solar panels and battery as well, actually, while we're on the subject. And that was one of the things that I talked about yesterday with Simon when him and his family came round. Sorry I didn't get a video up then, I guess I just fancied a day off. And the other thing that I talked about with him was the new Tesla Roadster, which is very impressive, and all the rest of it. And this guy is a bit of a petrol head. You know, he has a Ferrari, used to have a Lamborghini, sports cars, the noise, the sound, the atmosphere. He's into that sort of thing, and you're not really going to get that in quite the same way with a Roadster. The point that I was making was that although you don't get that, you have to drive a high-powered electric vehicle in order to really know what you get in return for ditching petrol and diesel. Like, take this car. I've been ploughing down the road today, and I have not had an awful lot of time with which to do that because I left late. Yeah. The thing is, there really is nothing like that instant, powerful acceleration. It's just thrilling and intoxicating, and it enables you to drive through traffic in a really, you can only do it in an EV sort of way. But Teslas are already fast enough. This only does 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds, and it doesn't need to be any quicker. And yet Tesla keep pushing that 0 to 60 boundary, and I understand why. It's because Tesla have worked very, very hard at dispelling the myth that EVs are slow and boring and not fun, and they've been extremely successful at conquering that, which is a large part of the reason why EVs are becoming more and more popular. I saw 2 Nissan Leafs today just in the local village, which is, you know, amazing. And electric cars are definitely not something that is a rarity round here anymore. So I definitely thank Tesla for their work on that. However, what they really should be doing, I think, now is trying to work on some of the other things which currently make the car great and could make it outstanding. So this is also from talking to Simon. I was saying that if I had this car still when Jasper hits 17, it would make a great first car for him, because I could put it in valet mode, not give him the pin of course, and then I'd be able to track him on my phone. I'd know what speed he was doing, the acceleration would be limited to sort of a reasonable amount of acceleration, the top speed would be limited to 70 miles an hour. Loads and loads of positive things that can be done with software. Tesla have had to focus on the sort of the headline side of things rather than the software side, which is ironic because actually it's the way that their software gets updated is one of the things that makes a Tesla great. I just think they could do more, honestly. I really do. I think they ought to be able to integrate some of the other sensors and cameras that the car have with the app so that you can have a much clearer picture of what's going on. And you should be able to, for example, if you are going to lend it to someone, it should be able to log what the car is doing and when. There's an app out there, Visible Tesla, it basically does exactly that. It shouldn't rely on third-party unsupported apps. I actually think Tesla should integrate these things into their car as a sort of next-gen vehicle feature. This is like kind of almost becoming one of my favourite times of the day, sat in the car for 10 minutes before I go pick up Jasper, because I don't have to rush, I don't have anything particularly massively urgent to do except talk to you guys and drink my coffee. What's not to like? Better sort out the car seat for Jasper. That's what he was seated on. Board up box. Yeah. It'll do. We'll just keep that for emergencies if we forget to swap the proper one over.
This car seat is even better than your books, Dada.
Brilliant.
Dada. I'm Corona, I'm Mr. Dada.
Yep, that works for me. Do something interesting. I don't know if you remember a while ago when I got the car washed. Well, technically Mark washed it for me. He put some tyre shine on the door flap to try and stop it sticking when it's wet. and initially it made it awful, but now it actually seems to work really well. So that's great, because it means that, you know, I don't have to lever the flap open with a key. Jasper, you coming in or not? Alright, fine, I'll leave you in there. Right, okay then. You got your shoes on the wrong feet. Look, your toes are pointing out. You shouldn't be pointing out like that. You should be pointing in.
Can't see that.
They didn't say you were really, really good, so you can't have a treat. So I am interested to hear what you think. You know, what features do you want added with software? I mean, certainly the thing that I would most like added, I think, is a bit more of a sort of control over the car remotely, in terms of knowing where it's gone and at what speed. And you know, I think I don't have the autopilot 2, so I don't have the cameras, but if I did, and if those cameras were full color, which I hear they're not, then I would definitely want the ability to have a live feed of what's going on around the vehicle. That would be quite cool. You've got things like remote start. They added that a while ago now, so you can sort of start it from the app and unlock it, of course. I think it came with the unlock feature. One of the most obvious features that has been added recently is the camper mode. It doesn't have a lot of options. I'm a big fan of options. And another thing, actually, while we're on the subject, it'd be great if you had different skins. I'd love to be able to sort of skin the interface as sort of, you know, I don't know, Star Trek themed, or, you know, I'm not that much of a Trekkie personally, but it would still be extremely cool. So yeah, that side of things, definitely. I think the software is probably one of the biggest areas where Tesla did fantastically well at the beginning and has done less well over time, because they've put all their time and resources into things like autopilot. I think I'm going to have to go deal with Jasper, who's having trouble finding a pair of shorts, I believe. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already. And I will see you tomorrow for the next instalment of my daily vlog. Bye. I've really dropped the ball today, actually, because we had the boys outside, one in the ride on Tesla, one on a bike, me on my longboard, all doing races up and down the patio, and I got no footage of any of it. But hey, I suppose, you know, everyone needs a day off, and that's what this is for me.